All right, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday, the 27th. January is basically done, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy to think that it was just New Year's and now we are finishing up the month. So on this Friday, the news came in as expected for that core PCE. Um, News is like, yeah, it was the lowest in a long time, but versus previous, it is showing an increase. So yeah. At this point, like I said, without lack of any big surprise, I think the Fed is going to do basically what the Fed said. I don't think there's any changing at this point. Um, Overall, the market reacted kind of as expected. Not no major like gigantic swings or anything like that. Small moves because again, it is going to change fundamental ripples in the market. Nothing in the last 24 hours is like exploding, like dollar yen 4, right? Dollar cat 9, right? Euro pound 9.70 over here, and you're seeing that retrace right now coming back to flat. Euro dollar, it's been down in the last 24 hours. So the market kind of prepared for this and kind of it did exactly what you would think it would have done. Pound again down a little bit, retracing. Dollar Swiss up again. That's the biggest mover when it's a dollar Swiss. There's problems, right? So I wouldn't say anything today is super crazy. Definitely some trade setups from the overnight as well. That we're not horrible base trades. So sorry. Yeah, not much more to say about it. Nothing crazy. Sunday, nothing. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, nothing. And this is where it gets kind of crazy. There's Monday. We got nothing on Monday too, right? Monday the 30th. And this is why I said kind of like January's done. Tuesday, there is some, I'd say okay data out there, right? GDP month over month for the CAD. Again, we've gotten some good data from them, so we'll kind of see where that rolls in. And then again, Chicago PMI still again climbing a little bit. Consumer confidence expected to kind of hold, and then again we roll into New Zealand stuff on Tuesday. So Monday kind of low, right? But Wednesday is where everything goes crazy, right? Wednesday next week is kind of like, well, Monday gets us ready. Tuesday, Monday is kind of like the warm up. Tuesday is it's like, on your marks, get set, and then Wednesday is go next week. Between jolts, ISM numbers, FOMC raising interest rates, non-farm employment change. I mean, like everything on February 1st is like, how do we pack everything we can, and then followed by Thursday, another 0.5 raise for the pound, another 0.5 raise for the euro. So yeah, so in this next 48 hours next week, it's kind of like, wow, get your Red Bulls, get your monsters. There's a lot all at one time. All right. All right, so that's what we got. So let's go into today. So the dollar's up a little bit, still kind of hovering right around that 102 mark. You can see 102.08 is where we're at right now. It peaked up to 102.15. It's kind of where it was yesterday. Yesterday morning, super early went up. We had the news that came out, kind of dropped down again. At 10:30 is when we had the peak, and it pulled back down, kind of back in the same, again, middle of the range. Kind of pulled down in the overnight, kind of went up here. European session went down. 5:30 reversed it back up again, and now we have obviously the dollar news, and then potentially the roll back to the downside. So, is there much to say about where the dollar is? Nah, I mean, it kind of came in as expected. There was no major surprise at the top side. So, it's kind of one of those, where would you assume today goes? Probably rolls back down towards the 102. I feel like the 102 is the sticking point for the kind of sideways range we're in right now. Again, the fact that there was no major surprise with it, the market kind of had it factored in. And again, next week is when the raise comes in. It's like, listen, this was the last big data release, right? I mean, if this had come in at like 0.6 or something like that, it's like, holy crap, really? Maybe they will do a 0.5 still, right? But with it coming in as expected, I think that pretty much puts the lock on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it just kind of hovers around, stays inside of this range, doesn't move too much. Now, all the indices are in the red, just a little bit, right? Not much, just a little bit. Big question is, how are they going to take the market today, right? And what do I mean by that is, again, forever the market is basically trying to be like, nope, they're not going to raise. They need to stop. They need to do this. And again, it's kind of following the path that the Fed has set out. So I wouldn't really say that there's, again, major surprises, but the interest rates are going to rise next week. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think this pretty much guarantees that it's 0.25. I mean, I'd be shocked if it was a point 0.5. Shocked if it was a 0. We know it's not going to be a 0. So I mean, I really think 0.25 is kind of where it's going to be. So, yeah. Right now, they're all a little bit in the red. Crude oil, you're seeing, was up a little while ago. Was up at 82. It's kind of pulled back a little bit. You know, it's up 1%. Not horrible. We have OPEC Plus speaking next week. I'm sure there'll be some more discussions about. But I don't like when you're on the desk. You know, putting price caps on things and then basically just saying we're going to cut you guys off. You're going to cap it. We'll just, you can pay market price or you can get none. Like I said, right now the what? You want this? Right now the rather tame winter, right, has been good for the European Union. And we haven't seen too much movement. And, as far as, again, a little bit of push up, and that's all China. But besides that, not much. Natural gas down, again, down at that 280. Loving that one. We're getting back into normal ranges. You're seeing gold and silver both down. Silver down pretty big, 1.5. Gold down a little bit. And again, there was a gold set up there early this morning. Risk is a little bit much on it, but again, silver is really kind of driving it home. And you see, we're down at that 2350. Obviously down from that 24 number. Now, this is where it's like, wow, there's so much red over here. Yeah. Seeing bonds down, cryptos are down. Start off with the Aussie dollar. So there's an Aussie dollar trade that just actually triggered a little while ago off news. It was a pretty simple one. I chose this one just because I did like the way that that's top form. I like that we had a red, green, and then a red confirmation, but we had a little bit of a test with sellers up here. It was small. It was only 8 pips for 25 in the other direction. You can see it took about, 30-something minutes to get out of that one. Obviously, there was the original candle when it went up and grabbed it and then kind of hovered. And then the next candle, the 9 o'clock, is actually what drove it through to profit. So you can see the dark is no longer there. It's officially out. But kind of an easy one, right? And the reality is, right, the news came out as expected. Price is exactly where it was beforehand, but it gave us enough of a spike up and a spike back down again to be able to take advantage of kind of that initial kind of gut reaction with things, right? So it is what it is. Nothing crazy. I wouldn't say there's any major trajectory change. I would say my opinion yesterday is really still the same. Again, the news was good. They're going to raise interest rates, but being predicted, there's no major catalyst. I would say that yes, we're probably due for this to turn and roll back to the downside. Is this the start of a 500 pip drop? Probably not. I don't see that much. And like I said, we still have an area of buyers right below down here, about 70, down at 70, 80, about 30 pips south of where we are right now. So we're kind of stuck more in a sideways pattern, if anything else, right? But again, it's Friday. You can grab little trades like that are easy, then grab them. I can tell you right now, this is not straight. Kip, stop. Nope, we're not going to do that. Oh, and I'm going to report back. So day 3 with Kip, right? Last night was the... Oh, wait. No. Last night was day 2? Day 2? Day 3? I don't remember. I don't even know anymore. Can't even... all the days are blending together. Not as good as day 1, right? Of the big change. Actually, you know what? Yes, it is day 3, but it's day 2 when I've had him in my room. So, yeah. A little more angry. A couple times he looked over at me and was like, wait a second, you're not mommy? So, yeah. We're going to see how it goes this weekend. Still have a Harry Potter trade. Now, again, it is Friday, so we do need to bring things up. As we do see, and again, I would expect this to kind of roll back to the downside in preparation for what we see next week. We do have that little Harry Potter trade, and we do have a decent area basing. There is a little bit of a push, and again, it's not the cleanest. It would have been better if we were basing up at this level versus down here, but it doesn't matter. We could actually, this may be where it bounces off of. What I'm looking for right now is if we can kind of push back down again, and then have a bit of a gap down. Like, say we do this in price, right? Hold on one sec. One sec, guys. Webinar. Okay. There we go. I would like to see this kind of like just grind its way back down. I don't care if it ends here, which would kind of make sense, or if it pushes down here. Either one of those is fine. And then what I'm looking for is somewhat of a gap down and a push back up again. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Something along those lines, like that pattern. We close, we gap down, we pull back up, fill that gap, and then continue to the downward trajectory. It's kind of what I'm looking for right now. Again, I don't know if it's going to end here. It's going to end here. It's going to end down here. It can end anywhere. Doesn't really necessarily matter. But being so high on the curve with the data next week that we have coming out, I was pushed to the ground, and now I can't hear out of one of his ears. Great. Lovely. Leah message. So Leah called, and I'm like, this is weird. You know, I'm in a webinar. She's like, I'm on my way to pick up Reese from school. Apparently, he was roughhousing with someone. He was pushed to the ground, and now he can't hear out of one of his ears. Don't know exactly what happened. He was really upset. I'm going to take him to urgent care. Lovely. Welcome to Friday, right? So this will be 2 kids now that I've had get injured at school. Yeah, I had Asher got a concussion, and yeah, concussion in 3 stitches. Actually, I guess concussion in glue, and now Reese can't hear out of his ear. Yeah, love this school. Love this school. Can't wait till they ask for the ratings or our reviews. Nope, we're not going to touch Daddy's phone. Hold on, let me forward this to Melissa just in case. One sec. Sorry. There we go. All right. I don't think I need to go, but I'll keep the phone on. Anyway, that's what we're looking for. Again, looking for kind of a short early next week, and again, it goes right into all the news. Also, again, so yesterday we talked about this driving back. That again, nope, get off my phone. Not going to do the phone thing. It's grinding. It's not really fast. You know, we talked about, hey, listen, there was a big zone there, and it did pull back. We were sitting right here yesterday, and we said, hey, listen, we'd like to see ground. We'd like to see a pullback. You know, we got a zone right there, and it did. It pulled back to the zone. It grabbed it at like 5 o'clock, and now it's pushing back down again. And again, here we'll draw it. Let's see here. There. So long, slow grind. Now, do not hold this one over the weekend if you are short. I think it's fine. Maybe it grinds up a little bit. You're past 1-1 at this point, so your stop loss is at break even. Understand that the Aussie market obviously is over. The Japanese market is obviously over. Asian session is completely closed. So right now, this is literally a proxy for gold and the Dow. Okay, so we're not going to get major movements in this one. Again, what I would say on this one is, again, you can see how grindy it is. It's not really flying right now. I think it continues to grind down. Do not hold over the weekend. If anything, if you like it, close it down and then reopen it on Sunday night. There's no point in taking that over that risk over the weekend. You don't have to, right? There's no reason to. Not that I expect something crazy to happen, but you never know. I didn't expect it to happen, but it did, and now my account's gone. Kip, stop. We're not going to pour water all over everything again. No, you can go to the floor. Come on. Go ahead, get down. There you go. All right, so not much difference from what we saw yesterday on this one. Again, pretty boring. We're talking about, let's see, from where we were, 11 pips. So boring. Here we go. All right, so yesterday we had this nice little pop over the 8:30 news, and we kind of pulled back down again. At 10:30, we kind of pushed all the way through and then started the 4-minute retracement. Now, it did come back up, and then it retraced back down and grabbed the zone again, pushed back up, and went back down again, based in it, dropped, and now it's pushing back up. So the true trajectory of the euro is about this, right? And we said we had 2 levels here. We really weren't sure which one we were going to be able to take anything out of. But there was the original pop off of it. So here's kind of where we're at right now. We do kind of have a top and a bottom, and euro's in a weird spot right now. So it's got about 50 pips before it's confirmed top side. I like that area. I think that's a decent spot. Downside, we also have a confirmation. So we're kind of smashed between 2 different zones. It's okay. The thing that worries me about this one going into next week is we know we have a 0.25 raise for the dollar. But right now, everything we see right now, and again, it is later in the week, so that's the one good thing. 0.5 for the pound, 0.5 for the euro, right? So technically, on a fundamental basis, there is more strength coming next week than the US dollar. But with that said, the dollar is also at a much higher rate. So as far as banks making money, they make more money with the dollar, regardless if the euro raises 0.5. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. As far as gaps go, again, we've kind of pulled away at this point from this one. You're like, why is it going this way? It's like because everybody saw that news and they're shorting it. That's why. Um, but right now we are 40 pips from kind of bouncing off that zone, a little bit more from the top. I think looking at either of these two is probably pretty decent. Again, Monday having absolutely no news, probably going to be a little bit of a slower opening. So it may give us a little bit of an opportunity here. Um, Trying to look at areas where there's potentially rollovers. Again, if you wanted to go more the dollar the dollar long, that's probably, and again, it's going to be the low to the high right here that people are going to look at and they're going to say, "Oh, look at that 50% retracement, 61." Yeah, there's a zone there. We got some basing there, and we had a decent pop. It's not a very big zone. So here, let me pull this over just so you guys can kind of see what I was. Again, it's not to run off there. This is the new low. How much we talking here? How much we talking? It's 10. So it's a 10 for 30, right? It's a 10 for 30. And look at that. It doesn't even go to the low. So that's a nice little 10 for 30. Again, maybe a 1030 reversal today. This one pops over. Oh, he's not on the work call. Yeah, Jeff, you won. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like we were forced to go the private school route because it was basically like Gen Pop, the middle school that they got assigned to. Like it was to the point where it was ridiculous. They were learning absolutely zero. Now one of them like hates school. Not that they love school before, but they said one had a concussion, was out of school for like a week because of the concussion because he was getting headaches from it. Again, he got hit. Some kid thought it would be cool to spin, like those like little metal thermoses, kind of like our we're adults, right? We got those metal Contigo cups, but there's like the half size ones for kids for like juice and water at school. Yeah. Somebody thought swinging that around the top of our head was a great idea, and the supervision at the time didn't bother to stop it. So Asher got cranked right on the upper part of his eye and cracked his orbital. Right. I think it was cracked. They didn't X-ray his head because of his brain, but like it was swollen and black and blue for like a week. Had 3 stitches, and again, there's nothing up there. So yeah. Yeah, and then the school had the audacity to lecture me about the amount of school Asher has missed. And I do agree he has missed too much, but I'm like, listen, 5 of those days was because you guys allowed him to get hit with a medieval metal object right in the face, right? And he did nothing about it. And then he goes back to school, and the first day, a kid pushes him in the locker in the hallway. I'm like, great. So, yeah, this is the discussion I had with my other son, Reese. I'm like, hey, if there's a kid bullying your brother who has a concussion, you go over, you grab that kid's head, and you smash him into the locker. I don't care. I was like, buddy, you won't be grounded. I'm like, you stick up for your brother. If somebody's going to bully your brother who's smaller than you and he's got a concussion right now and they think it's funny to push his head into things, you go smash their head into something. And you can tell the principal that. I don't care. So Reese is the big one. So Reese was probably roughhousing today. I know probably what kid it is, but yeah, I'm tired of it. Yeah, I struck my son and kicked him in the nuts. Yeah. I don't deal with that kind of crap. It's when there happened back in the day, right? Never would have happened. But anyway, simple little trade here. I think if you're looking for something, again, later in the day, maybe a little bit rough, but if we can get into this by 12 o'clock, we get enough of a push up, look for it to roll over. If it doesn't hit, again, Sunday night right there, guys. 108.89. Euro pound. So euro pound. We were talking about. Now, both profit targets are hit. Yesterday, we were sitting right in here. We hadn't hit our second profit target yet, the one at 87.89. Second profit target is hit, and you can see, look at that. Look how it reacted off the buyers there. Now, I mentioned, didn't like this candle, was not going to put a zone in like this for any type of reversal. Much too big. Great target, but not anything, Also, so I'll stop chatting. Nah, Jeff, my whole thing is, like, if you allow a bully to be a bully and you never say anything about it, he's only going to be worse, and it's only going to get worse, and he's going to be a crappy adult. Like, if you it's to say it, you know what? I'll end up getting my horse too quickly here. But basically, if you don't stop bad people from doing bad things, they're only going to get worse, and they're going to ruin other people's life. If you have the power to do something you don't, then you're just as much as fault as the bully, is my idea. And it's not just bullies, it's everything, right? Right. Like, I'm all about equality and everything else, and people that don't stand up or don't say things. Like I told the boys, I was like, listen, if someone makes an off-color joke, you need to tell them that that's not appropriate and they shouldn't do it in your presence. And if they have a problem with that, then don't hang out with that person. You don't need to be in an environment where that's acceptable. And hopefully it's sinking in, right? Same thing. Somebody tells an off-color joke about anything that has to do with race, religion, or anything else. Same thing. You call them out on it right away. Tell them it's not funny, and they shouldn't speak like that. And if they don't apologize, then leave their presence and don't have anything to do with them. You know, stop it now before it gets worse. But anyway, here's your zone. I didn't like it. Again, great target. You can see it. Look at it. Look at the way that it based. Literally, if we take just the wicks right here, look at this, and we're right back to right now. So euro pound is going to be a very interesting play next week. Now, let's see. Let's run some fibs on this one. Let's have some fun with this one. You can see, look, the 23s, those poor guys. Oh, they went right through. Didn't get any help there. That trade is out, so we're going to remove it, clean this chart up for next week. I'm going to delete a lot of these. Let me pull this back just a bit, just so I can see it a little bit more. All right, so yeah, it's the same 61.8 level. I'm gonna pull this off, but I'm gonna look at yeah, but Buzz, when in doubt, just bang it harder. That's kind of what I'm looking for right there. Yes, Buzz. So that's kind of where I'm looking for this one to bounce from. And you may say, "What the heck did I just do? That makes absolutely no sense, right? Like, what are we doing?" Um, all right. So what I did was, all right. So we know a lot of times when we can get a combination of multiple strategies all sending a signal at the same spot, whether it's truly a buy or sell area or it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because so many people are looking to do the same thing at the same time. I don't care. I'm just looking that that's where it is. If we take an easy fib draw from high to low, we know that the 50 is the first area, backstop by the 60-minute, where people are going to be looking to sell. If you take the pivot today and look to the left, you can see that we did have a rally. Actually, I guess it was more. I guess it was kind of a rally, a base, and then a drop, and then we had some testing off there. So we have a confirmed supply zone of sellers. Test it again here, right? Test it again here. That is also now. Well, not now. If price is able to come down to this 87.50, now it will be a 50% retracement level that people are looking for. So we kind of have a confirmation. It is a 3-touch, so I don't love the 3-touch on it. Unfortunately, if you do this, it's nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's literally just a confirmed supply zone, right? But if we go down to this level, now all of a sudden, it's not only a confirmed supply zone, it is running into an area over here. We did have some basing, and it was a bottom. It wasn't a little bit of a pivot. So I do kind of like that one. Again, is this a trade for today? No, because that would require it to go another 22 pips down and then go another 48 pips up and then turn around and roll back down again. Yeah, that's too much for Friday. But this is one of those ones for like a watch list for next week. If price is able to come down again, it's an if this, then that. If it comes down and tags off 87, all of a sudden this becomes live, right? As far as a decent trade. It's going to have to grind through here, which is the problem for today. But I think this could be a potential trade setup for next week. Whoops. Let's pull this off right here. So that's kind of what my thinking. Again, it's like forecasting with fibs, right? Remember, it's an if this, then that. I don't have a crystal ball, but if it does do it, you're going to be like, man, he's a genius. Not a genius, right? What we're trying to do is, for this to be an amazing trade and to line up multiple strategies all at once with confirmations, that requires price to come down. If it doesn't do it, say it just goes sideways right here and then decides to tick back up again, it's not a trade. It doesn't meet all the requirements. Step 1 is this. Step 2, and again, it can do it in any different fashion at once. Step 2 is back up to, Step 2 is there. Step 3 is this. If step 1 does not happen, I don't need to tell you guys, we follow the rules, right? So if step 1 doesn't happen, it doesn't come down. If it goes all the way down to here, then step 1 is broken. If this is where it reverses, there's your step 1. Step 2 is it comes back up again, and then step 3 is another trade. Okay. Trading scar is a requirement. Yeah. All right. So let's go to Euro Yen. All right. So Euro Yen, we happened to talk about this level yesterday, right? We talked about this being a bounce level, coming in right here around, let's see, the 8:30 news window open. Let's see what we got. Um, let's see. So right now you're at a 1 to 8.7. You made it to a 1.24. The 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So right now, that's 3.1. Your stop is obviously just a little bit ahead. You're probably banking some in right now. Most likely you're trailing this one. We'll drop it to a 5. And we can drop to 15. Yeah. Right now you're trailing it to at least here. So right now there's no loss in this one, right? So yeah, there you go. Hold on, my phone's going off again. Okay, that's right. Because Melissa, she's like, "Is there anything I can do?" I'm like, "Melissa, you don't have a car right now. What are you gonna do? Walk the race to school?" um. Anyway, again, if you're in this trade, you're great. Don't worry about it. You're still good right now. Again, we are getting close to a 10:30 reversal, but again, make sure you trail your stop up. You're locked in. You can't lose any money unless the gap's passed. But something like the euro yen, I doubt you're going to gap past it. So again, 40.91. This is the level we talked about our confirmation as of yesterday being low on the curve. Again, overall, the 1 to 3 is in a pretty good spot, right? We don't really see any reversals till that time. Again, I would expect somewhat of a impulse correction. Um, what? All right. Um, Melissa's like, she's a little fast to take him to the doctor, isn't she? I was like, well, he can't hear out of his ear. I'm like, it is a potential, concussion sign that like you've lost hearing. Yeah. So I don't know. Kids, you know what? This is stuff they never tell you about kids. Just saying, kids are great. Everybody loves them. And then they're accident prone. All right. Pound dollar. All right. So pound dollar. Late last night, we saw it went down. Europeans did absolutely zero with it. It just grinded sideways. It was like, wah, wah, wah. Sleepy, sleepy, sleepy. Obviously, at 8:30, it pushed it down a little bit. We knew we had an area of buyers there, and that's exactly what it hit and bounced. It was a no trade because the zone was absolutely too big, even though it touched. And I guess the reality is it was down here more or less because that's where they touched. But again, being that this was a mirror wick, that they were exactly the same bottom, they were established and cleared all in 2 candles. Not really interested because when it comes down again, it should burn right through. So, again, talked about the level, no real trend. I think we're still looking for 124.33 up top and down below. Still looking for 122.67. Okay. Need a little bit more direction. Now, I will say this. Between next Wednesday and Thursday, I do think that the pound dollar, euro dollar, and euro pound are all going to be kind of crazy trades all over the place. There'll be plenty of headlines. I think there's going to be a lot of movement. So again, is this the calm before the storm? It may be. It may actually be. So, Kip's in the other room. I'm like, oh God, it's quiet. He's getting in trouble too. So we'll see. But right now, there's no trade for Friday, unfortunately. And you can see there was no European movement. They didn't necessarily care about it at all. Now, pound yen continue to drop. Again, here we can continue this cross here. Again, also 160.44. There's a level we talked about yesterday, right? We were sitting. Where we at? We were here yesterday, right? So it did go up. We talked about finding the buyers up top, but it was way too big of a zone. We weren't really necessarily interested in taking it short again, but we were looking for that reversal. It came down, and you're here. So, right now you are up. You were up 2.5. Now you're up 2. So we get it right on 3.4, 3.01. Closest I'm going to get. So again, yeah, it's going up. Basically, at this point, you're trailed. Heck, if you wanted to really, you know, lock it a little bit over 1-to-1, right? So you're good. How many you got right now? You only took a little tiny bit of heat. There's 20. Yeah, you're up 40. You were up 50 at one point. So, I mean, you're at 40 pips right now, right? So, again, risking all this for just that at 10:30 time frame, right? Maybe even trailed a little bit tighter, right? Maybe. So yeah, you're good. Nothing I can really say. I mean, the trade from yesterday triggered, so you're in right now. You're 2/3 of the way through. Again, you're not gonna, you're gonna make sure you trail it. Don't lose anything on this one. Dollar CAD. Here we go, baby. Going to 133 finally. What we got yesterday? Again, we missed the entry here. Yesterday we're sitting here. It just continued to push down. Kind of found the same buyers. Came up, hit those buyers again, hit them, came up again, and finally drove through. So now we're finally at 133. I know we're not there yet. We're 2 pips from it, but it'll tag it soon. I love the fact that we're 133. I've been talking about 133 forever. I do think it's a good spot. I think OPEC Plus will definitely start affecting this. I'd really like to see what we do from here. So I like this as a basing level. I like to establish a new bottom. Normally, I would say, hey, just look to the left. I already know 133 is going to be a psychological level. It is a big area. It's again, for a person that transfers money back and forth from Canada. Again, wife's Canadian, right? She has rental property, so we transfer money back and forth. Obviously, 133 is a big deal. Right now, and again, 99.9 times out of 100, I'm going to tell you, always look to the left. Being that it's a big psychological level, look for a new bottom to be put in here. I think this has the ability to kind of grind back up again. More near term, you can see that we are definitely low on the curve, right? Definitely low on the curve. With the U.S. raising the 0.25, I think the language behind it, I think we are, I do think we have the ability to go higher. Right now, CAD is still getting the benefit of oil prices being higher as well, seeing that benefit from it. But I think that's going to run out soon. I don't think the CAD can do 0.25, 2.5, 2.5. The U.S. is going to do 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. So fundamentally, we should have more strength rolling into the market. And 133 is a big level. So I would look for this one today. What I would do, kind of the same thing we talked about with the Aussie dollar. What if even if it goes down here, I don't care, right? We're looking for a gap above, pull down, and then we're looking for this one to continue and reversing the other direction. So again, wherever we end, if we open higher and then pull down, looking to pull the trigger and get this one long. Okay. Oh, bud, you good in there? Yep, you're good. But right now, I'm not, 10 o'clock on a Friday night, shouldn't take it. I would love for it to push lower. If it can go lower, gap above 133, and then take off, I think it's a great trade for Sunday night. And again, not really any news Monday, so we'll be slow. Dollar Swiss. I just want to point out to you, I just want to let you guys know, right? There was a question on the forum about the indicators, right? Whether they use the indicators or not. Actually, the question went towards Ryan, because Ryan's been nailing his trades lately. Ryan does not have the indicators, but Ryan's been doing this long enough. I've done mentoring with Ryan. Again, the indicators, as Ernest typed, and again, Ernest, I appreciate that, they're tools, right? They are meant to help you be able to find the zones. The rules are exactly the same. The indicators have a little bit of secrets also in them that is not talked about in the class, because it's more of like a mechanical thing that our eyes can't do very quickly. But obviously, there's mathematics with computers that can do it in less than a blink of an eye. So they are a little bit different, but as Ernest said, they're meant to be tools to kind of speed up the process. The process is the same. Do you need them to be successful? No. Do they make your life easier? Yes. Do I still use them? Yes. Do I use other levels? No. Okay. No. Because there are limitations to the indicators as well. But when you're trying to find good zones, right, and you're trying to take emotions and personal beliefs out of it, they work. But with that said, just want to let you guys know, right, Ty was coming back for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, what happens? Ernest is over here posting charts of the dollar Swiss, right? You guys remember just a little while ago? He's like, yeah, I'm trading the pound New Zealand. Love the movement. Now he's over here on the Swiss, right? The dollar Swiss. I was like, what are you doing? So anyway, dollar Swiss. Now that I've picked on Ernest just a little bit for today, we do have a tested level sitting right here. And again, it's in the middle of the range. It did turn and roll off of it. It makes sense what it's doing. I still like the short going below 91.50. We got some room to run at this point. You got about, 50 pips down. The top side, again, we know we have a strong confirmation up top. Also 50, actually that's 65 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 88, so it's got room to run in either direction. It is now currently going back. I mean, it's in an area of buyers right now. But again, this was a pretty strong push to the downside, and that's currently what it's bouncing off of. It's not a very clean level. That's why I didn't talk about it yesterday or trade it. This level here, I mean, chop with a test. And yes, it is confirmed. but it's kind of a big level, and it's not a nice looking level. We typically don't, this is a, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 candle base, right? A 4 candle top. Actually, I guess 5 if you count the green. I like it to be less than 3, right? When it's that many there, it means it's not necessarily the strongest level, and then again, its retest came up. But here's your confirmation right here, right? So could you have reversed off of it? Sure. It's definitely, counter to what the dollar trend is today. But again, obviously with everybody trying to get long the dollar, the short was there. So could you beat it? Sure. I'd be concerned about the basing level right here. It is kind of a confirmed base. Being 1030, being an area where buyers have stepped in now twice, could be a little risky to come back up. And where we are, I really want this one to go up or down. For me right now, kind of in the grand scheme of things right now, between tops and bottom, we're kind of floating in that middle 33%. It's kind of no man's land, so we don't necessarily have any biases, right? Still like this one here. I want to take this over. I would love to get back down to this 91 level. I think 91 would be a great level to get back down to. So about 110 pips down. Again, 1 day's worth of movement. Could it happen Monday? Sure. I do expect some weakness in this before the interest rate rise next week. Dollar, yen. Man, talk about this one. This was like, took forever. So we were talking about a top at 1030 saying, hey, listen, it's a level, right? It ended up at 1130. It did peak out the top by about a pip and a half. So in full transparency, if you had taken this trade yesterday, you may have gotten stopped out, depending on how much of a buffer you put in, right? We talk about adding buffers in. This one would have needed a 2.8 buffer, right? A 2.8 buffer. The spread on it right now, it's only 0.7. So you may have gotten stopped out on it. Now, if you waited for the confirmation, you would have got the confirmation over here, right? Actually, yeah, this green didn't touch. There's its kind of peak, and then we got a red, a green, and then the red close here. So you can see it did go down. You just needed to wait for confirmation. Let's see can we see it on a lower time frame? Yeah, it's here. Right here. Yeah, because the red, the green came above, so. Yeah, red, green, red would have been right here. So, yeah, maybe, depending on when you got in. If you got a number 1 entry, you probably got stopped out by 2 pips. Just to see this turn and roll all the way back down again. If you waited for the confirmation when it left the zone, you're good. It did once it confirmed with the red, green, red here, it just did nothing but deteriorate. So you may or may not have gotten out of that one. Again, slow and grindy. Came down, popped up. European session, drove it down. 530 reversal, sent it back up again. It prepared for the pre-news move, popped down, came back up, and we're still there. So overall, to me, it looks like with the highs being lower and the fact that we've smashed into the zone now 4 times, it looks like it wants to go lower. Does it have a lot of room to run? Not really. We know that 130 is a big deal, and that's kind of, look, we peaked below, we came back up to 130, went below, went above, use the 130, use the 130, use the 130. So, what's up, buds? What's up, buds? Oh. All right. You want this? I would love for you to have this, buds. Oh, that's good. That's melatonin. That helps you sleep. No, I'm not. Just you guys know, I'm not. He has a bottle of melatonin gummies. He's not. He doesn't eat melatonin gummies. He is too young for melatonin. Wish I could use it, but they say don't use it on babies. So, sound machine is all I got. Right? Sound machine is all I got. All right. So, is there a trade setup in this one? Nah. I mean, I would be cautious looking for the drop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It should continue to go lower, but it's backstop. I think 128.82 is really kind of where we're looking for the next big spike, and even that is not the greatest of zones. So, yeah, if you caught this one, again, confirmation you're good. If you took it as a number 1, not good. If you took it as an option, you're good. Is what it is. We got here. We're mixed. TLT. Look at this pulling back from kind of, I don't want to say highs, but back down at the 106 range. Let's look at oil. There's oil. So yesterday we were golden. All the way back, for lack of a better word. It was golden. Nice little trade setup. Again, I did not catch that one. It's pretty nice. All it did today was grab the upper area, pulled back down again, and it's rallying. I think 82 is going to be the sticking point. What do we got? 82.50. The high was 82.48. So yeah, we're pretty close. one. Yep, stop. Yeah, for Friday, I don't think there's much room left in this one, right? Um, yeah. The problem I have with this one is again Friday. This market closes early. Um, I don't know that I would take many more longs off this 82.50. We talked about it yesterday, and it did pull back all the way down to 81.50. It was a nice little dollar drop, but we chopped through it again. Two front runs, hit it again, hit it again. This would be hit number three, hit number four. So there's definitely some argument of where this one could go. I think the 83.50 is probably the next big level we are looking for. It is a larger one. We have it marked off, but this right here is kind of what I'm watching. Right. We know that the JMC, the OPEC Plus people are coming in. I haven't seen a response. U.S. emission consumer sentiment increase. That's good. That's good. Uh, December, a little extra home buying. And again, 2.5 in December, ending a 6-month slide. The reason why this was is because interest rates dropped. So people are like, holy crap, they dropped. We got to buy. Hurry up before they go back up again. Right. This is not really surprising. Like super late. Trying to see if Russia had said anything yet. No, no, nothing yet. You can have this. Yeah, I think 83.50 is really the next level. I like. Um, Again, this could be the grind where we turn back down again, but right now with the way that things look, I mean, it's all right. I don't for Friday. I don't really like much on that one. Natural gas. So natural gas, we're gonna have to pull our Harry Potter off because we don't carry them over the weekends in this one. It never gave us an entry. It came down and shot back up. Gapped, came down again, up, down and up, down and up. Never gave us an entry through. The problem with it now is there's not really a near-term level of basing, so we kind of got to pull this one off. We're looking for it to get down to 275. It made it down to 274.7 before turning. Stop. We're not going to touch that. Here, you can have this and have this, but we're not touching that, please. Um, Yeah, I know you're clapping. You're happy. Yes, you're happy, but I need to have the mouse pad. Um, I'm still short. I still have short bias on this natural gas trade. Um, Again, 2.4%. That's nothing. This thing can jump 7-8% in a day. We really need some type of comment. Stop. I can't. I need that. Come on, stop. Here. How about you go over here? Can you put them in the drawer? Put them in the drawer. Put them in the drawer. Well, I don't want them on the computer. No, you do it. You do it. Yeah, you do it. You take it over there. Um, so ideally, I think 250 will be a big area. I think that's going to matter a lot. Again, Friday, this market closes earlier. I think all the movement is out. I'm waiting for a headline to send this higher. But I think overall, with any lack of any major surprise or headline, I think this continues to just slosh its way down. Again, we have not had the winter surprise. If suddenly we get a major winter storm, that may give us a little bit of a catalyst. But I think if we get any type of catalyst higher like that winter storm, I think we just take it short. Um, let's run some fibs down. Let's kind of see where this last push was, this last pivot. Yeah, there's a level there. One of this is going to be the next artificial kind of sell zone. See all the basing here? We had a nice touch off of it, and then it gapped. Um, Wondering if that's going to be the short. I don't know if there's going to be enough time today. Is the problem? 292. Stop! Ow! Stop! Ow! Um. Yeah, if you're really looking for something, again, remember this market closes early, so it will kind of deteriorate a little bit. But 292. There's a level there. It's been hit, right? It's been hit. It is a 23-6 trade, but it led to that. Yeah. Gold. All right, so there we go, gold. Gold pretty easy, right? Um, no Kip, stop. Stop. Just Kip, you're about to go in the other room. Here. Yeah, it's like a rattle. Stop. I don't want it on the desk. Europeans, right here. So we marked this off yesterday and said, hey, look to the Europeans for a cue of what's going to happen. All it did was it sent it back up and into an area of sellers for the news to the downside. So, I mean, it was pretty telegraphed. There was a little bit more whip on that one. And again, most of you guys are, if you're doing gold, you're doing it in options. And I guess some of you could be trading gold futures, right? But for the most part, I mean, gold's easy to trade with options. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So, again, pretty simple. Europeans set it up, ran right into an area of confirmed sellers, right for the news, shot it right back to the downside, came all the way down to 921. I don't know if we're going to be able to get much lower than 921. There's an area here, and again, I'll mark off all these bottoms. There's an area here. Buyer saved it. 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 They've been there a ton, but 920 seems to be an area where buyers are really into kind of protecting this one. I do think, again, it will prepare next week for obviously raising interest rates again, crushing inflation. Remember, they're going to go beyond neutral. We're going to hear comments about that going beyond neutral, getting things back to, the 2%. Again, not that we get deflation for anything, but I think watching what this does Sunday and Monday will really kind of tell us what Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday look like. Again, there's a lot of interest rates being risen next week, 0.25, a 0.5, and a 0.5. That's a lot to battle inflation. Again, those are all factors fundamentally that should lead gold getting back down in the 1900s. So kind of want to see how far it really pushes, okay? But again, not surprised at all. We looked at this one. Silver was a little bit more resilient. So silver hit that 24 yesterday, late last night. Again, here was the news yesterday. We come up, grabbed the 24.27. We pulled back up at 12, and then it just continued to deteriorate off that 24. It did go up a little bit at the European Open, but then I was like, nah, we know where it is going. And then at 7:30, it shot down. 8 kind of pulled back, and then it continued to go lower. It is down 1.5 percent, more than what gold is. Gold was a cleaner setup of the two, and again, you tend to see that a little bit more. It's more of an institutional thing. So not necessarily surprised. I do think 23.34 is probably an area with buyers coming in. So again, be cautious. This market also closes early on a Friday. I think silver and gold both, I think, are going to be good plays next week. But right now, let it stabilize. I kind of want it to go back up. Like, I kind of want silver to do one of these things. Just grind its way back up to 24. If we can get up to 24 on Wednesday, I think that'd be awesome. I think when they really lay out, hey, this is a 0.25, and we got 2 more 0.25s, and then maybe we'll pause. Raising it another 0.75, I think, is a big shock that the market doesn't believe is going to happen. But I think the Fed is set on its ways. So if we can get up, I think it's a great opportunity to take a short. Tesla up big again. Tesla, this is pretty interesting too. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Like I said, we don't really do single stocks here, but Tesla's one of those ones that we do mention. It is kind of fun. Tesla talking to LG Energy for electric batteries. Right now, they use LG to get batteries, but they're all in China. So it seems like everybody is jumping ship on China, and it's kind of one of those. Well, go ahead, you grab it. Go ahead, buds. Go get it. What I think is interesting about this is a lot of companies are all trying to, and what they're calling it is diversifying, right? They're pulling their assets out of China in the supply chain because they don't want to have those problems. Here's the thing. You hurt China enough, you pull everything out of China. What does China have to lose, right? From going through into Taiwan, right? Listen, all the companies are gone. You've tried to sap us a business. You've tried to hurt our economy already. We're done with this, right? Right? We're gonna choose to work with the companies that are already here, right? The economic effect will be less, right? So interesting that Tesla is going this way, also pulling out of China. So saw that this morning. Apple also up a little bit. Now, indices right now, are basically flat, right? So drop this down to a 15-minute. And again, this is whether or not you decided to even look at them today. Core PCE is quite a large one. At 8:30 is kind of one of those ones like, well, maybe not. So in looking at this one, you can see this is odd. And I say odd because it's not what we normally see. Here's a 15-minute. Here's where the market ended, right? We had this little bit of it, 4:30. This is where the market reset. It did nothing. What did the Europeans do? Europeans kind of sent it up, sent it back down again, and then just held, right? The 830 did nothing in there, and then the 9 and the 915, and we shot back up again. And now all we're doing is pulling back. And you may say, well, why? Why is it doing nothing? Right? Why is it this flat? It never stays this flat. Because core PCE was a big deal. And the fact that it came in as expected, the market was kind of looking for something and got nothing. So overall, is it good that, again, the PC came as expected? Sure, there's no surprises. It wasn't worse than expected, right? And that's why you're seeing the market move the way that it is. Okay. Should it be up? Sure. Consumer confidence is up, right? It's not bad that that's what the PCE was. It definitely is lower, right? It's lower than what it has been. It's still showing an increase, but it's a little bit more controlled, right? So again, when the forecast comes in as expected, you take that as this is a good sign. Now, will it stay like that all day? I don't think so. What are you doing? You doing that too? I do think it is justified to be rolling back right now. Because as I said, I still feel that the market is like, yep, we're good. They're not going to raise. They're raising. We already know that. Here, Bubba, hold on. So not surprised. As far as opening print goes, you look at your 915 candle. You weren't going to buy, or I'm sorry, you weren't going to sell, right? In these levels here, there was real no confirmation. We were kind of in a base here, right? So maybe you got into this at 9 o'clock this morning, taking this for long. I think if anything, that's what you would have done. It's not really a quote opening print one because the opening print happened over here. It was kind of an earlier one. It was a confirmed level, but again, not really surprised what the outcome was. And again, would expect it to roll back again. It's only up 0.15 right now. It's not up anything crazy. So I do see it kind of rolling back down. And will it be red today? I don't know. You got that feel good Friday in there, but again, interest rates are being risen next week, so who knows? But not an opening print. NQ, it did the same thing. Again, you can see the same level of basing right here that we've been playing off of all night, right? And again, you kind of had this 830 kind of spike down. It did push down, and then the 915. It looks exactly the same. Not really any confirmed levels. Again, it did pull back. The 830, it kind of pulled all the way back down to the 915, and that's where it took off. So could you have traded this one? Sure. It looks the same. Is it a high quality zone? Not really. With these going higher, you'd have expected it to jump just a little bit. It's up 0.36. 0.36 is the winner right now, right? It is up the highest, and we're starting to see red candles and paint back down again. So, NQ probably has the most chance of being green today, but it's not really sexy at all. It's just like, whatever. YM looks exactly the same. There's your level of basing. There's your push on it into it. There's your 930 candle was up here. It went down and grabbed it. So again, could you trade this one long off that level? Sure. Your risk was rather low on it. So this is one, is this what I consider this an opening print? It was the first candle. It was the first candle, and it was what we had a confirmation off of. Is it the highest quality trade? Nah, probably like a B minus. Could you have traded it? Sure, absolutely. You were looking for a long because again, remember we knew we were high here, right? We were pushing through new highs here, so we were more biased towards that direction. But what the hell are you doing? No, don't do that. No, you don't need to play with this. And again, right now you're seeing it. Look at that. Look at the red pressure coming in at 10:30. So ideally, I mean, hey, I'd love it. I'd love it if it was a feel good Friday. We close up big today, but I just feel like that's probably I don't think we're gonna have the movement that everybody hopes we're gonna have today. This is kind of tight. Well, here, get it. Russell, same thing. Russell went up to that 1990. No, stop. You cannot eat. No, coffee is no for babies. No, baby coffee. Here. Yeah, I know. Same thing. There's your level of basing. There's your confirmation. So could you have gotten to this one? Sure. Yeah, this one was okay. I mean, I guess this is, of all four of them, this is probably the best looking one. Because again, there's your zone of basing. We knew we had a nice little pop over there. It is a little bit big of a zone, and you did have confirmation there at 3 for European session. So I mean, it's well past. Oh, it's you. Like, what the heck is that noise? That's what it would look like. All right, there's your 1 to 3. And what are we doing? We're already starting to pull back off that 119. So we knew that 119 was a problem before. So yeah. So nothing major with the indices. Like I said, 2 of these you could have taken, but for the most part, the part that I don't like about this one is we literally closed here and then did nothing in the European market. No new zones, really no confirmations off of zones or anything. I guess the only one would have been this one here at 3 o'clock. We kind of touched it, but wasn't really anything clean. So, again, I don't think the market was. Stop, Kip. More black and blue marks on this baby. It's like unbelievable. All right, so that's it. Nothing exciting on a Friday. Like I said, the news is all coming as expected. Again, pending home sales. I'm actually not surprised by the pending home sales numbers. That makes sense, right? Because it was December, so and it's good that consumer confidence went up. Yeah, Bubba, you gonna take a nap? You gonna take a nap too? Maybe. All right, let's go ahead and do our drawing for today. So I got Nani, you and Jeff was the winner yesterday. We'll see how it works out to close out the week. We'll see if Jeff ends with a double or if we reset everything going into the next week. Who we got in here? Who we missing? I think got everybody. No Sean today. Egg is here today. I think we're missing somebody else. Don't know. All right, let's close down. Winner today's drawing is. Boom. Ernest takes it. Ernest had 2. Little bit extra chance there. Market's complete. I think that's 2 that Ernest won this week, though. Ernest had one earlier in the week, too. Where we at the boards here? Yeah, you had one earlier in the week, too, right? I think you had, like, Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Wednesday? Something like that? Right? Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that? Or maybe you were Wednesday, and then you went heavy yesterday, and then Jeff beat you yesterday. I really think it's time for Ernest to ban himself. Ernest has banned himself, but there's like an automatic unban moderator function, I think. So I think he has, Neuro. I think he's banned himself. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go deal with this whiny boy. He probably wants to eat more. He only had, he's into hard-boiled eggs now, so he only had a little bit of that. So he's probably hungry and tired, and I got to go deal with this other boy who can't hear out of his one ear. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. It's supposed to be sunny and 52 here in Maryland tomorrow. Hopefully everybody else has a good time. This weekend has some decent weather. And with that, I'll be back on Monday morning. Hopefully, we have some decent movement in Sunday night into Monday morning. But I'm afraid Monday is going to be pretty quiet as well. So with that, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you guys next week. Take care.